Hey, it's Michela Quilici here, your business growth and marketing expert. I work with coaches, consultants, business owners, and experts like you navigate your business growth on purpose. And I'm super excited to be here with you today for my broadcast on becoming an elegant leader. Be seen, be heard, be valued. And I truly believe that in order for us to be seen, heard, and valued, we must learn how to confidently step into our own self-leadership so that we can really learn how to be the person we need to be in order to create massive success for ourselves. And, this is why I created this broadcast, so that we could create a space and have a space together for you to be empowered and supported, to gain some insight, and to really have the dialogue around what it means to be your own best leader, what it means to be seen and be heard and be valued, and really step into that. So I'm super excited that you've decided to join us today, whether live or on the replay. So as always, I totally appreciate any of your hearts and likes as we go through the broadcast today. If there's anything that I'm saying that's resonating with you, would love for you to share comments in the comment box below, or if you have any questions, anything you want to share about any ahas or anything that's coming up, please do comment in the box below. Also, if you are joining us live, would love to know who you are, would love to be able to see you and acknowledge you. So please pop me a note in the box below and just say, hey, let me know that you're there and that you're watching so that I can acknowledge you. So great to be with you, and I am very, very excited about the topic that I'm bringing to you today. So this is all about tips for helping you to really tap into your own influential power. We all have the ability to influence, and we all have the ability to really make things happen. And so I'm going to be sharing with you, as always, a story around that with some insights and some lessons. And I hope that you find what I'm sharing with you today valuable and something that you can, just that one thing. What's that one thing that after listening today that you're going to take away and that you're going to reflect on, or that you're going to implement, so that you can really take action on what you're learning and create that next step for yourself in your life, in your business. So you may be in a position right now where you might be a bit frustrated with your level of growth. Maybe you're feeling like there's no growth or slow growth, or you might be feel like you're moving backwards in your business. You might be feeling like there's just not enough progress, or no progress at all, really, in terms of whether it's getting more clients, whether it's getting your marketing to work for you, whether it is just business growth in general. And so maybe that's where you're at. Maybe you're close to giving up on something that you're working on or that you're doing, because it just doesn't seem to be working in the way that you intended it to work, or maybe it's not working fast enough. So those are some of the scenarios. If that sounds like you, then keep it rolling and stick around, because we've got some tips to help you get over that and thrive overcome those situations. Because really, what we want is we want growth. We want forward progress. We want to feel successful, be successful, and we want confidence, right? We want confidence in knowing that we're doing the right thing. Confidence in knowing that what we're doing is actually working, and the intention that we put forward is actually manifesting, and we're implementing and executing something, and it's happening. It's happening for us. That's what we want, right? And preferably with a lot of ease and a lot of grace and flow, because I'm not into suffering, and so really that's part of my intention too, is that it's all about how can we bring more of this flow and this elegant leadership to everything that we're doing so that we can really create and generate opportunities and ideas and openings and access points where we can really step into our game and really be the best at what it is that we love doing. And so as I was reflecting on this topic, I recalled a situation that happened to me a while back, and so I thought that maybe this would be a really good story to share with you to kind of illustrate this whole notion around tapping into your own power of influence. And this situation that I'm about to describe to you happened over actually a couple of years, I think about a 2 or 3 year period. And it's funny, I don't know if this has happened to you, but when you're going through something, sometimes you don't realize that you're going through it. You're not really conscious. You're in the muck, you're in the mud, you're in it, and you can't see the forest for the trees, right? And so the lessons I find usually come afterwards, when you have emerged from that situation, or maybe I find what really helps is to get perspective, is to take a step back and always be reflecting on what happened, what didn't happen, what was your part in that, what could have been done differently. And this constant reflection that I've made a daily practice has really helped me to fast track myself, because I'm constantly being aware of, right? So it's not about nitpicking, it's about being aware of and kind of diagnosing things as you go along, really being curious about why such and such has happened, and just being curious about what the result of something that you did was, and how you could be doing things differently, and just always iterating and shifting what you're doing for a better result. So anyway, back to what I was mentioning earlier about the story, is that these lessons emerged after a couple of years when I was reflecting back and played out the story. And when I wrote it down, I realized what was happening. And I was able to kind of break down, the lesson into some key, really tangible points that I want to share with you. And so that you'll be able to take away, I think I have 4 points. These were the markers within the story that helped change the trajectory of the outcome. And so I'm going to share those with you at the end. And but for now, I'm going to just dive into the story and absorb it. And let me know what comes up for you. Comment in the box below. Pop in any questions. And just really see how this all unfolds, okay? Here we go. She reveals herself to me a little more each day, and I find myself eagerly anticipating her next growth spurt. To bear witness to this evolution is a miracle in itself, especially because not long ago she was withering away and I almost left her for dead. But something deep inside of me wanted her to live, and part of me knew that I was negligent in my nurturing duties. I felt like she was dying because of me, because of what I hadn't done to sustain her, and because of my belief that her survival was out of my sphere of influence. How wrong I was. I had an immense amount of influence, and I didn't even know it. What was once a strong, healthy cactus, bursting with color and filled with vigor, had now withered down to her last 2 inches of life. I'd been pruning her back with alarming regularity as each cactus leaf lost its vitality. What I was left with was just a fraction of her fullest potential. I decided that her enormous pot no longer served her, so I replanted her and her few remaining leaves in a tiny pot that was more appropriate for her size. And over the days and months and years that passed, there she sat in the corner of my apartment, fragile, barren, and almost forgotten, until I made an agreement with myself that I would be more diligent in my care for her. I didn't want her to die. She was a gift from someone dear to me, and she represented something greater than her slight frame alone. She represented life. My motivation turned into commitment, and I placed her directly under the rays of my lamp on my side table. And every day, I sat on the couch next to her, and I would ponder her existence. I'd look at her, and I'd water her, and I'd talk to her, and I'd be really curious and asking her, when are you going to grow? What do I need to do? I gave her a lot of focused attention, and it was almost a pet project of mine that I was determined to figure out. Month after month, nothing happened. Nothing happened, and I kept watering and talking and pondering her and caring for her, and nothing happened. But I never lost hope. I had a quiet confidence that she would rally. I don't know where that came from, but I knew deep down inside that she would rally. And even though I had no evidence of that, and it wasn't until many, many months later that her leaves began to grow 1 millimeter at a time. I watched in wonder at this miracle unfold before my very eyes. Millimeters became inches, and inches became 1 foot. And finally, she flowered again. For the first time in years, one little pink blossom was born. And that was it. And when that blossom fell off, I watered her, and she's continuing to grow. And nature is a really great metaphor. Nature is a super metaphor for life and for business, because it reveals what lies below the surface layer. Things are never as they appear on the surface, never. And that's something that I have learned over time, is to always find out what's really going on. And nature is a really great metaphor for that. So I'm curious, what do you think of that story? Does anything come up for you? Anything at all about anything maybe similar that you've gone through where you haven't, you thought that, the deal was done, or you thought that, you were giving up on a project because it wasn't really working out. And what did you do? What were the things that you did that brought that back to life? And that's what I'm curious about. I'm curious about if there's ever been a situation where you've been frustrated about your lack of progress, or you've been close to giving up. Don't underestimate the power of your influence. You can turn things around. Every step that you take and every action you can choose. You set the pace for what happens next. And it's all about how you're showing up, and you can choose to show up in any way you want. So let's just do a little bit of a debrief of what happened with that story and what I did differently to bring that plant back to life from being nearly dead. So there were actually 5 key things that I want to share with you. These things, if you apply these 5 key tactics in anything that you're doing, whether it's in your life or whether it's related to your business growth, your marketing, your sales, your consultations, any of your outreach efforts, if you apply these 5 things consistently and persistently, this will be a total game changer in your business. It will change everything in your business, believe me. So here's the first one. The first one is that I had a belief that didn't serve me. I had a belief that there was nothing that I could do to really help, to make it better, to change the situation. And because of my belief, that dictated my actions, or my non-actions, really. And so the first thing that I did, and the first thing you have to do, is you have to change your belief. You have to change your belief into one that will better serve you and open up opportunities for you, rather than close doors and close the opportunities for learning or the access points. So what belief do you have now about something that you're working on that would serve you to change? That's the first thing you do. Because if you don't change your belief, nothing will change. Beliefs influence your actions. So you have to take a look at what your underlying belief is first before anything will ever change for you. So that's step one. The second thing is that I made a contract. I recontracted with myself. I'm really big on creating contracts and agreements with myself, because I know that that's the only way I can keep myself accountable to doing something differently and to be committed, is when I make a commitment to myself to enter into a contract with myself about what I'm going to do to create success and to create the outcome that I want. So that second tip is all about, what's the contract you're going to make with yourself? What does that look like? What are the clauses in the contract? What are you going to commit to doing? What are you going to commit to stop doing? What are you going to commit to start doing? What are you going to commit to keep doing? That's the second tip. You have to contract with yourself and make a commitment that you're going to live up to your side of the bargain with yourself. Okay? The third tip is relentless and dedication to taking daily actions. Relentless focus and dedication to taking daily actions. It's all about focus. It's all about being dedicated. I just had a glitch in the broadcast. Hopefully you're all with me. Let me know if you're with me. If you could just give me a thumbs up to let you know you can still hear me, that would be great. I'll keep going in the meantime, because I think we're back live. So relentless focus and dedication, and making sure that you're taking those daily actions. And it's all about persistency. Because what happens is, have you ever heard that saying where you can't plant and reap your harvest in the same season, right? So you're planting. Every day you're planting seeds every single day. And sooner or later, those seeds will be ready to grow. And then you can harvest the fruits of your labor, so to speak. Okay, so that's what this is about. And an extra bonus tip here is, things usually take longer than you think they do. And the key to fast tracking is to gain momentum, which means to do things, to make sure that you're doing things in such a volume that you're gaining traction, so that you're like that, like that snowball that is starting at the top of the hill, and it starts to gain speed and get bigger as it's rolling down the hill. That's what you want. And the only way that that comes is when you're taking that focused, dedicated, persistent action on a daily basis, and you're taking the right actions. Okay, the fourth tip is trust your new belief. And what did I do differently? I trusted my own beliefs that she would grow, and yet I had complete detachment to the outcome. So this is another key tip, is that, trust in yourself. Trust in your own abilities and capabilities, and know that, you have everything that you need within yourself to be successful. And if you don't yet have the skills, you'll learn them. If you don't yet have the answers, you'll find them. You will talk to people, you'll gain the resources, you'll do what you need to do, you'll develop yourself. So you will do that. That is human nature. If you dedicate yourself to being coachable and to learning and to showing up with curiosity and to being a student, a dedicated student, you will succeed and you will grow and you will learn. And so this is the key, is trusting in that belief in yourself, that you'll be able to figure it out. You'll be able to figure it out. You'll get help. You'll ask questions. You'll get support, or you'll learn. So that's the fourth tip, is trust in your own belief and have detachment of the outcome, which means just trust that whatever you're doing is going to result in something. It may not result in the exact right thing that you had in your mind, that you have a picture of, but it will result in something, which may open up something else. It may open up a different perspective or opportunity for you. So trust in yourself, yet be detached to exactly how it's going to work out. Because when we attach ourselves to what we think is the right answer, then when that exact picture doesn't present itself, we can a lot of the times feel like we failed, or a lot of the times feel like we're not making progress, because we've then closed off the learning. We think we have the answer, and when we don't see that thing that matches that picture we have in our mind, then we think we failed. And so really it's that thinking, that paradigm that needs to shift. And how you shift that is to detach from the outcome and knowing that you're open to seeing what the results are and taking that as your cue for your next step. Make sense? Okay. And the fifth tip is never, ever, ever give up. Don't give up. Don't give up, because it could very well be that you give up the day before or the week before the tipping point, and you just don't know when that tipping point is. And so don't give up. Don't give up, and be open and curious to knowing where you need to shift and what you need to do differently in order to create more success for yourself. Banging your head against the wall, doing the same thing over and over again, is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about more so is just being curious, being persistent, and letting the results of what you're seeing and the feedback of what you're gaining dictate your next move, but never give up. All right? So those are your 5 tips, so I'll recap them for you. And these, again, are the turning points, the pivot points within that story that I mentioned to you that really started to shift things for me in terms of having a potential situation where that plant was dead for all intents and purposes, and I brought her back to life to a thriving position. And these are the 5 key things that I did. Now, this analogy of the plant, you can overlay that into anything that you're doing within your life or within your business. So the first tip is change your belief. Change the belief that's no longer serving you, because your beliefs drive your actions. So if you believe that you don't have influence and power to create something differently, then you won't. So change your belief to something that will support you well, to open up and build your capacity for growth and for learning. The second tip is make a contract with yourself, or recontract the contract you already have that isn't working. Making a contract with yourself is basically keeping yourself accountable to yourself and making an agreement or a bargain with yourself about what you're going to do to show up, and what the things that you're going to do and commit to doing. And that's the whole idea of a contract. What are you going to commit to doing? Okay, the third tip is being relentless in your focus and dedication, and to take daily actions towards your goals. And you're planting seeds and you're planting seeds. And when you do that long enough, you will start to gain traction and gain momentum. And when that happens, things will really start to shift for you. And the fourth tip, trust your new belief and have complete belief in your own abilities to figure things out and to make things happen, or to get help or support or learn the skill or the thing that you need to learn, and have complete detachment for the outcome that you believe is the right outcome. Leave that open so that you can really take cues about what you need to do next in order to create the ultimate successful outcome for yourself. And the fifth tip is never give up. Never, ever, ever give up. Be open to the process. It is a process, and it never takes the exact journey we think it will. So never give up in your dedication to getting something that you believe and creating success for yourself. All right. So how about you? Back to you. What do you need to do? How do you need to show up differently? What contract are you making with yourself? How are you going to keep yourself accountable? What's one thing? What's that one thing that you're going to do differently in order to create a different outcome for yourself? I've given you 5 tips. Let me know which one you're going to implement. Would love to hear. And just saying hello to Ella and Kari. Thanks for joining us today. Love having you on the broadcast. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Pop them in the box below. And if you think that this video would help a fellow entrepreneur or a client who's a business owner or coach or consultant, please share it with them. These tips are really invaluable in terms of, I wish that I had learned some of these things much earlier on in my career. It would have made things a lot easier for me and would have, reduced the pain and suffering, I think. So wanting to definitely help you fast track your ability to create success for yourself. So that's what this is all about. So please share these tips if you have learned something that is new to you, or perhaps it's a reminder. Reminders are always very, very useful because there's so much going on in our day-to-day lives. So sometimes we need a little bit of a reminder to get that top of mind again and get focused on the right things in our business. So remember, success is created. It doesn't happen to you. You make it happen. So choose with intention. I totally believe that you can do it, and I'm here to support you on any stage of the journey. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your comments and your hearts and your likes. And if you found this video helpful, please make sure to sign up to get notified of new videos that I'm going to be broadcasting live. At the end of this video, you'll be able to do that. And my sole purpose is to ignite you into your own awareness so that you can really step into who you need to be to get out there and serve the world in the way that you know that you can. Dare to be visible, ignite your potential, and express your brilliance, because the world is waiting. What are you waiting for? I'll see you next time. Bye for now.